So, are you ever going to upgrade those sticks or just remain as boring as ever?
Yes, I'd like to know because it's been a long time and we have seen many clones, many game console clones, and I have been advocating for at least a year, maybe longer, for the ginfull sticks, the ones that are, I think, universally praised as the better sticks that you can get on a Chinese clone handheld. We know that Magic X was the first to kind of bring them away from the retroid world, and since then I've been waiting for game console to use them. Well, guess what, Deadheads? We finally have that day as the XF40V has arrived. And not only does it have those ginfull sticks, it also comes with some really kind of funny looking, maybe useful, I don't know, arcade stick tops. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of our awesome content. But today we're going to unbox and take a first look at this game console and see if that edition does anything for the overcrowded and stagnant world of R36S expansion. Feeling lonely? Has the loss of human contact got you down? Are you stuck on a screen all day? Well, friends, I need to tell you, we have exciting news coming up. We are going to launch an agentic AI friend based on none other than me, Deadfred, and he is going to be your virtual best. No, wait, that's a creepy, terrible idea. Sorry, guys. Anyways, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel for the first time, new Deadheads. Today, we're going to take a look at. All right, as always, we'll start with the box. And the box is pretty nice here, model XF40V. Now this is the 4-inch 720 by 720 1-to-1 aspect ratio. Now lately we've been seeing that other 4.2 inch, 4-inch screen. So I don't know, I kind of like that screen better. That's a 4.3, this is a 1.1. But this is the good old 1.1 that we fell in love with way back when the RGB 30 came out a long time ago. But it is nice. It does have a lot of information on here. I think it's attractive. It shows the handheld. We do have on the side of the box some more information, the chip, TF card, 3D joystick. And then if we go to the other side, we have this recall your childhood, share the happiness. Let's share the happiness, okay? And looking around the other side, we have our colorways. This does come in some fun colors. We do have some translucent colors. Black, red, purple, blue. We have a solid white, and then other colors. So if this sells well, there'll probably be more colors. Moving to the back, and then we have our typical specs here. Now this is a Rockchip 3326, so no surprises here as to how this is going to perform. Should be good custom firmware options if the community picks it up and modifies it for it. But it's just your typical, it's going to play typically what a 3326 does. So whatever your R36S could do, this is going to do the same thing over that time. But this is one of those that comes in a package, but once you open it up, we do get a little surprise inside. And voila, we do have a case. Now this is that nice, unique game console style case that we have seen before. These are nice cases. I like that they come with a case. I think that's a great value to add when you're thinking about a $40 handheld. You're getting a case, so that's a nice touch. You don't really get that with the R36S. But opening this up, and we'll get the handheld out of the way here. And we do have a set of stuff in here. The first thing, we have this little packet. And it does have a quick support guide in this, as well as a screen protector. Not a real good screen protector, more of a scratch protector with the wipes. We do have a USB cable in here. This is our typical USB A to C cable, so nothing exciting there. And then we have our X40V instruction manual. This is a nice color manual that has a lot of information on it. So I'm glad they put this in here because I think it's really well done as far as manuals go. We do have a ton of QR codes on the back, which is kind of humorous. And then the real neat thing, the thing that I was really excited about, are these little joysticks. So we do have these additional little joysticks in here, and I'm really excited to see if these are the same attachment that we have on our Odins and Retroids and Ambernicks, because that's going to be very exciting. But let's get this all put back in here, and let's get the handheld out and start to take a look at the handheld itself. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Nixie. Nixie has this amazing GameCube-inspired controller called the Wizard 2, and they were gracious enough to send it over for us so we could take a look. Now, first I want to say that GameCube is one of my favorite all-time systems to emulate, but we all know that Nintendo has always liked to use some of those goofy control schemes. So having a controller that more closely and naturally mimics that control scheme only makes emulation better. Have you ever found yourself trying to play something like Super Mario Sunshine on a regular Xbox type controller and you're like, man, this just isn't playing very well? Well, this solves that problem completely because it gives us those GameCube specific controls that helps you game better. And who doesn't want to game better? In fact, there's even more to it. This controller can also split apart. That's right, it can split apart and you can use it like Joy-Cons, left and right. That's even amazing because you can attach it to your Nintendo Switch. Now, if you have a Nintendo Switch 2, I want to let you know some awesome news because Nixie now has a device, an attachment that can actually help retrofit onto your new Nintendo Switch 2. And Nintendo Switch has online GameCube. It's really cool, so you can play with some of the newest technology. These controllers include things like TMR and Hall-based technology to give you the best of all the new stuff while giving you that great retro feel in the hand. Make sure to hit the link in the description below because we have some great codes to help support it. And we want to thank Nixie for sending this over. Again, I have been taken back in time to nostalgia by playing some of the best GameCube games, as you can see here, on things that run Bluetooth, or you can use their adapter to even play it on original hardware or the PC, whichever you want to do. Make sure again you check out the discounts and get the best deals, and make sure you ask for that attachment so you can use it on your Nintendo Switch too. Anyways, back to the show. Okay, taking the handheld out, and the first thing I notice is that it looks nice. This blue is nice, but I want to start with these sticks because this is the real change here, and the sticks do feel like the sticks that we've come to love on other handhelds. Now, of course, I want to take it off and see if the stick comes off pretty easily. And yes, the stick comes off pretty easily. And so we are off to a really good start here. Now, the big question is whether or not this will be able to use other sticks. So I do have some Retroid sticks here. I have some yellow Retroid sticks. And let's just take a moment to look and see if it's going to actually fit on top of here. And yes, it does work. We do have the yellow Retroid stick that we put on here. So this is exactly what I have been asking for and hoping for a while. This confirms that we can even use the bigger portal sticks. If you wanted to use the Odin portal sticks, those are going to fit and work on this as well. So that is a great additional change here, and it's something that I hope that we see going forward from any other manufacturers. It is really time for the Switch style sticks to just really be done with. We don't need to see them anymore. This should be the standard going forward. Now, moving on to these buttons, and the buttons were also curious. I don't like the way they look. I really would have preferred white buttons, but let's try them out. And they look a little small, But the first thing I noticed that we also finally have independent buttons. So for the first time that I can think of on one of these handhelds, these are independent. And they feel good. They have a good travel distance. They're just a little small. And I don't like the color on them, but I gotta say, it is an improvement over what we have seen in the past with these types of handhelds. We do have a really big button in the middle that's kind of loud, clicky. And then we do have our start and select. So the buttons are pretty good, but then let's check out the D-pad. Now the D-pad looks nice. It looks like an Ambernic style D-pad, and yes, even the D-pad feels better. So I can say that they have actually put in the work to upgrade this in a way, but keep the price in the same range. This is in that same 35 to 45 with sales range. You might see it when it first launches more around 50 something, but I think with coupons and sales, you can easily get this at 35 to 45 off AliExpress. Be a little higher on Amazon. But yeah, this D-pad feels really good. Really like it. Moving around the rest of it, let's look at the sides over here, and we don't have anything on one side of this, so we probably have one slot. Moving to the bottom, we do have dual USB-C ports, an OTG, and a power, along with our headphone jack, so that's good. Moving to the other side, we have, what is this? We have a volume rocker. I kind of like volume rockers. And so that is neat. So they do have that on there, and I like that. A single TF card slot, so we're probably going to have some limitations here. There's always something that just never works quite good. And right off the bat, this is my first worry because I like to separate the OS from the ROMs. Then we do have a reset button and our power button, and then nothing on top. Now moving to the back, we do have these really nice shoulder buttons. Now, recently we saw Game Console try the really flat shoulder buttons that I liked. These are more of the traditional type. They do have a nice curve on them on the L2 and R2, and they're loud. This is a loud handheld, no doubt about it. So there's no quietness here. There's no dampening, and so if you're looking for that, you're not going to find it here. This is quite loud. And then we have a nice little design on the back here on the case that looks nice here. We don't have an easily removable battery door. It is with a screw, but that's okay. But yes, overall, holding this feels like any of the other vertical that started with the RGB20 SX from Powkitty. And between the two, this has better sticks and a better D-pad. And just the buttons that are nice and independent, but just kind of weird. But let's fire this thing up and see what it can do. All right, turning this thing on, and we have the XF40V open source console, and it vibrates. So we also have vibration. So again, we're getting a lot of things that were left out of the R36S. We have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, vibration. We have ginfull sticks. We have some RGB lighting. So this is an evolution. This is a lot of change from the R36S. A bigger 4-inch screen. But guess what? We're still stuck with our old friend, EmuElec. Now, I've come to like EmuElec over the years, so it's not something that I really have a lot of disdain for anymore. But I really hope that there's some custom firmware that gets released for this. I'd like to see ArcOS on this, so maybe LOX will get this out for this. There's still a lot of community push, but the more of these that come out, the harder it is to keep up with all these and know which ones that people are buying. But I think in a while, for the first time in a while, this one has actually offered something different in that price range that we haven't seen. And so maybe this will actually be one that gets picked up and played by people. Now, I don't know about the TikTok effect. The R36 Max with its soccer ball has been one of my most popular videos. That thing sold way better than I ever thought it would. So who knows? Maybe this one will sell really well and be picked up. But going through the menus, we do have built-in Wi-Fi. There's none of that marking about Wi-Fi versions, so I think all of these will have built-in Wi-Fi. We don't have to worry about that. And it did connect fine, and it does have a pretty nice theme. Now, because this is on EmuElec, it doesn't have like a section for Portmaster. I couldn't find a place for Portmaster. I couldn't find a place to download more themes, but it does have some nice settings for your LEDs. as you can see here. And then playing games on this is what you would expect. This is a nice screen. Now, we've been seeing this screen for now more than 2 years, and I will say that I think maybe if these are newer batches, the screen does seem a little sharper. Gameplay on this looks really great as I show you some gameplay. I do like the 1:1 aspect ratio for my Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Super Nintendo, the true retro handhelds that we like to play on this. It does look sharp. Now the speaker on this is that front firing speaker right there. It is a single speaker, but it is front firing and it does sound pretty decent as far as it goes. Of course, using headphones is going to sound a lot better, but I do like the addition of this little rocker switch to do the volume. I think that's a nice touch. So let's wrap up this unboxing and first impressions. I'm impressed with the fact that we have the true ginfull sticks that can use and swap out all of the other parts on our other handhelds. That's exciting. I like that. Gives some fun customization. I think the quality of the plastic's pretty good. It has a nice little texture to it on the back and a design. We have a little frosting on the back along with some smoothness. It looks good, the blue. My biggest criticisms for this are the buttons. While I love that they're independent, they're a little small and I don't like the colors on them. I would prefer white myself. Maybe you'll like it, I don't know. Also, again, stuck with Emulec, one SD card slot. I would have liked the second SD card slot and maybe dual speakers. But overall, I think if you pick this up under $40, under $45, I think this is a great buy. There are so many of these now. I also really like the one we reviewed recently that has the XX name in it. That one is another good one at this price. And so it's becoming clear that they are continuing to push these models forward and trying to improve them. But let me know what you think in the comments. Again, I kind of like this one. I enjoyed it. There's a lot to like about it. I'm excited with the sticks and the customization, but it's still an RK3326. I mean, I don't know how many more I need of these, so it's becoming increasingly difficult to find things to like about this. But this one does have some things I do like. Remember to hug your loved ones and love your hugged ones because tomorrow is never promised. We'll see you next time, Deadheads. Deadfred out.